How about church? This is the Family Showdown!
Howdy folks, today we're looking at a fun card drafting game with dice. My Village.
Let's take a closer look. My Village is a card drafting game with dice. The object of the game is to get the most prestige points by designing the best village. Speaking of the village, each person has their own village as their player map. Each village has villagers of various professions: abbot, councilman, traveler, craftsman, and merchant. You need these villagers to grow the village by rolling dice and using them to draft cards. Each villager is associated with a set of cards you can draft. The councilman is associated with the council area. This includes the council chamber, which gives you a unique special ability, and the meeting place, which helps you with dice rolls. The abbot is associated with the religion area. This includes churches, which, like the council chamber, provides a unique special power, and monks, which give you a one-time benefit and count toward endgame scoring. The traveler is associated with the travel area, where you purchase cards that give you prestige points. The craftsman is associated with the crafts area. This is where you purchase craft buildings that produce various goods. The merchant is associated with the market area. This is where you acquire customer cards that you can later fulfill for prestige points. There is one area in which no villager is associated or required, and that is the harvest area, where you purchase field cards. These provide gold for your village, and they are used for many things like purchasing different items and modifying dice rolls. So, how do you acquire said cards? To purchase a card, you need to use dice equal to its banner value. For example, the field requires exactly an 11 on 2 dice and 1 time. There are both white and black dice you can use. Using the black dice, however, does cost an additional 2 time. Once purchased, you place your card in your village in the corresponding region. Alternately, on your turn, instead of purchasing a card, you can activate all of the white banners in your village. All banners of the number that you choose with your 2 dice activate. This can be used to produce goods, fill customer orders, get the benefits from your council chamber, etc. Almost everything you do in this game requires time. On the village board, there is a time track that marks the passage of time. After completing a circuit, the Grim Reaper must take a villager. You choose one of your villagers to go to the coffin space of his corresponding region, which also gives you story points to go in your story tree. More on that later. If no spaces are available, he goes to an anonymous grave. Once buried, you roll the rat die to move the rat on his track. Once he reaches the end of that track, he eats half the pages of everyone's story trees. In order to preserve your story points, you must move your headman on his path. How do you replace deceased villagers? You need to send new generations of villagers to school to produce more villagers. If found without any villagers, you must hire a day laborer. That is negative points, though, at the end of the game. If a villager is missing from an area, you are limited in purchasing new cards for that area or using that area. The end of the game is triggered by filling up the graveyard with a certain number of villagers based on your player count.
So let's go through a sample turn. The game is set up for 2 players, and the main difference between 2-player and a game with more players is that each player takes 2 turns instead of 1. So there's a handy overview card that comes with the game that shows you everything you do on a turn. So the first thing you do is you put a story point in the hand, and what the hand represents is that's your start player. And another player can go to that area and pay the banner value to take start player away from that person, and they get the story points to put in their story tree. So then the next thing you do is you roll the dice. Roll all the dice. And then you look at the dice and you look at what you want to do. You can either choose to purchase a card by paying the banner value of that card, or you can activate banners in your village, and there's not much there to activate, so I'm probably going to purchase a card. So the card I probably want to purchase, let's see, I think I want to pay an 8, a 3, and a 5, and buy this plow up here. It's a building that makes plows. And in addition to the 8, the value, you have to pay 2 times. So I'd move my time track 2 in my village. And then I put this in my village here. And you get a free, when you do a craft building, you get a free good of the type that it produces. And so that is my turn. Now it is the other player's turn.
Alright, so for my turn, I think I would like to purchase a field, so I need an 11. So I'll grab these 2 dice. And this. And as you can see, it costs 1 time, so I need to pay 1 time. And then I flip this over, and I get a gold, which goes into the house here. This is our representative of gold. And if I decide in the future that I want to purchase the plow, I can put a plow here, and then this will produce 2 gold if I go there.
Well, unfortunately, she took my 11 because I was going to buy a field and put my plow on the field. So she took that combo away from me, but I'm sure I can find something else to do with my dice. I think I might want to travel, but unfortunately, I don't have an easy 7. I'd have to use one of the plague dice. But one thing you can do with your gold is that you can modify a dice roll by 1 by paying a gold. So I'm going to take these 2 4s, make it a 7, and pay 1 gold to make it a 7. And now I can travel. So I'm going to take the top travel card here. And again, it's 2 time to travel for that. So I move my space 2 time, and I put the card in my travel area, and this is going to get me 4 prestige points at the end of the game.
All right. And then for my last, I think I would like to purchase a good as well. But let me see. I want to get an exact one, and I would like to get a plow so I can start that combo. So I will do this, and I will use a plague die. So that costs 2 right there just for using it. That gives me a 5. And so there I go with my plow.
Don't forget the 2 time.
And
There's
2 time?
Yep.
So he's very expensive. And that's it. That's a turn.
You want to go ahead and put that plow on your field to
Oh yeah,
get
might as
gold?
well. I get a good combo that way.
And there you go. That's 1 turn of the game. And the game continues onward until, like we said in the overview, enough of your villagers die to trigger the end of the game. And then there's a handy-dandy score sheet that will add up all your points to see who wins the game. Most prestige wins.
So there you have it. That's my village. I really enjoy playing this game for many reasons, some of which, there is the unique ability to use time sort of as your money in this game. Everything costs time, and you're using the lifespans of different villagers. I like that unique aspect to the game. I also enjoy the fact that the gameplay time can vary quite a bit depending on your strategy. Do you want to kill a bunch of people off and start getting these points and start getting those points and get them from your tree to your house? Or do you want to prolong the life of your villagers as long as possible and get different activities accomplished as cheaply as possible? So there's a lot of different things you can do in this game.
Yeah, I really enjoy games where you start off with a very basic setup and then it grows by drafting more and more cards into your village. You have more options, more things you can do. You can build off combos, make things have the same dice number to get a lot of things to fire off at the same time. There's a lot of strategies. It's a really deep game. It differs from, a lot of people compare this obviously to Village because that's kind of the precursor to this game, and that one is more of a true worker placement game, and this one has more of a feel of almost like a city building kind of game, which is nothing like Village.
Yeah, this one has a little more random element to it with the dice as well. But again, there's a lot of different things you can do to mitigate those dice or to change them or manipulate them in different ways. So it gives it a different feel, but with similar mechanisms, if that's possible. It's really
the whole
neat.
dying off of villagers.
Yeah, with the villagers and the lifespans and the different aspects to the village, or similar to Village in my village. So
yeah, there's really nothing negative I can say. The only thing I really see as kind of a minus is these little black pieces represent almost everything in the game. They represent your villagers, they represent your goods, they represent your money, and it would have been kind of cool to have, because each villager is kind of a different color. It would be nice to have a different color, meeple for those guys or something. It would have given it a little more, color and.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can see where that would be a cost efficiency problem too, because you'd have to have so many to cover all of those, and the gold and this and that. But it's very uniform.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. It's very effective and makes the game very, easy. You use these cubes for everything, so you don't have to dig up whatever meeple you need at a particular time. So, but I really enjoy My Village. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, me too. Check it out. My Village.